Unleashed, a Revolution in Personal Liberation podcast is your go-to resource for combining guidance with mental health and spirituality and solving your questions about why you can't seem to catch a break and find your true happiness. And you can find more episodes at becknelson.com/podcast.
Hey there, Lightworker. Have you ever wondered if there's something blocking your full access to your spiritual abilities? After working with many clients like you over the past 10 years, one thing I've seen again and again is that until you've cleared your childhood wounds from your subconscious, your ability to receive intuitive information for yourself and assist others as a healer, guide, or channeler is going to be compromised. That's why I've created a tool to help. A free quiz that reveals the core childhood wound that's still hidden in your subconscious, paired with a powerful hypnosis session that will permanently release it. If you're ready to degunk your energy field and unlock new layers of your clairs so that you can start facilitating profound transformation for your loved ones or clients, head over to therealhealinginstitute.com and click or tap free quiz in the bar menu to get started.
What if healing didn't have to be heavy? Welcome to The Funny Kind with Erica Gumany, the show that brings heart, humor, and hope to everyday life. Part deep dive, part stand up for the soul. Erica helps you find the funny, even in life's messiest moments. Because growth is good, but it doesn't have to be so serious. Tune into The Funny Kind and get ready to laugh, reflect, and reconnect with the extraordinary human you already are. Catch every episode and connect with Erica at yourpivotalpoint.com.
Available now, Ascendancy Awakened by Pankaj Singh. Surprising Way to Successes by Leaders Unleashing Potential and Taking Command. When was the last time you checked in with yourself? Leadership isn't just about confidence.
There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Vasily. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street-smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now.
Thank you for tuning us in and turning us on. I'm Dr. Pat, and I am tag teaming it. Okay, so I did grow up wrestling. My dad watched wrestling. Oh, oopsie, just slipped right there. But this is what we do. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to explain a little bit about the show. Every show, we start out with the topic. Today's topic is Let's Get March Metaphysical. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But for most of us, we don't live in the world Mark Anthony. Mark Anthony, psychic explorer, JD, lawyer, the whole thing. We don't live in Mark's world. He is renowned, best-selling author. He runs circles all over the world because gifted at a young age and perhaps even genetically adapted some incredible abilities. He does things that enable all of you to deeply connect with your loved ones. And that is a rare gift to be able to do it. And I will tell you, I've been doing this show now with Mark. We've been doing it a bunch of years. And when Mark starts to connect with spirit and says something like, I can see pearls. There's something about pearls. And I can taste strawberries. And the person that calls into the show says, you've got to be kidding. That's my grandma who always wore pearls, and you could never get a strawberry out of her mouth. Now, why am I saying all of that? Because we're entering this new year. And Mark, you and I did a show
Yeah.
previously. You're entering this year fired up. So before we even get to metaphysical, I want to start out with Mark metaphysical. Mark is you, like not Mark, like Mark Anthony, Mark. Mark metaphysical, because you have dedicated your life to this. So tell us what you've got going on and tell us how this feels for you to be entering this year knowing who you are and what you do to help people.
Well, we, like you indicated, Dr. Pat, we recently did a show called Fire Up Your Fire Horse, and we've just entered the year of the fire horse, which is really an amazing time of change and spiritual awakenings. As a medium, I was born into a family where psychic and mediumistic ability is apparently a genetic trait. So it's always been part of me. I have no doubt there's an afterlife. I mean, I communicate with it on a daily basis. And I look at myself as the custodian of this, I guess you can call it metaphysical ability. And it's a service gift to be used in the service of other people. But I also want to say about my colleague and co-host, Dr. Pat Basili. She too has incredible gifts of healing and of helping people understand the messages that come through me to the callers, to the recipients. And this is part of what makes the Psychic and the Doc sort of our metaphysical primetime, don't miss it show, because there is nothing else like this. Getting the benefit of messages received from spirits through a psychic medium and then having a world-renowned behavioral psychologist help you to understand the metaphors, the visions, and the deep visceral significance of all of these. Dr. Pat and I, like you said, Dr. Pat, we've been doing this for a number of years.
Yeah.
We started this during the pandemic, I believe in 2020.
Yeah.
And we're going into our 6th year. We've won Best Radio Show of the Year in 2024 and 2025, and I'm hoping 2026. But this is our ministry for people. You know, they think, a lot of people think because we're on camera that there's tons of money flowing in. We don't get paid to do this.
No.
This is something, we do other things, other things in our life that are fee oriented, but this is our ministry where we donate our time to the callers, because that is a big part of being metaphysical. That's a big part of being spiritual. A lot of people say, well, you guys should do everything for free. Yeah, but we do have mortgages and we have utility bills and insurance and health care and got to put groceries on the table. So as much as we would like to do that, and both Dr. Pat and I, at various points in our lives, have been homeless.
Yeah.
I lived in a Dodge van for like 6 months of my life. Okay.
And you gotta love those Dodge vans, though.
I did. I had a mattress and I had this rope strung across the back where I could hang my shirts and things. And at the time, I didn't really think it was horrible. It was just sort of, it was. I was also, like 20 years old at the time, and I had just graduated college and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I got a job and worked my way out of that and ended up going to law school. But the thing is, we know what it's like to be down and out, and that's why we donate our time to help people.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to say, I mean, up to this point, we have not invited sponsors to sponsor the show. And there is a reason why. Now, we may be selectively doing a little bit of that this year. And I really do mean selectively. Why? Because this show is for all of you. And, we want to make sure that nothing interferes with us bringing that message. Now, to the note of March Metaphysical. Okay, shocked. I am shocked. Why? Okay. I started to look this up. And I'm looking it up, Mark. Okay, you ready? Jersey, New Jersey, where I live now, has in March, I cannot believe what's going on here. So we've got the metaphysical activities in March are highlighted. Let's start with the big highlight. A blood moon on March 3. 3 3. A blood moon. You got all that?
Got
And
it.
then the Heart of Oneness Holistic Expo is in Edison, New Jersey from March 27th to 29th. And the 76th annual meeting of the Metaphysical Society of America is at Yale. I didn't know all that, did you?
No, I did not. I did not.
But so Mark and I make up these titles along with Rocky and Linda, and we come up with these titles. Okay. March 3rd, 20. I'm laughing for a reason, Mark. So just bear with me for a minute. Some of this is laughable. I just got to make the announcement on, and we're not affiliated with any of the people we mentioned. We're not affiliated. They are not giving us money to make plugs. Okay. So just get ready for this one. Dr. Nicholas David Mirasola releases Metaphysical Sherpa Karmic Poker on YouTube March 3rd. This is how metaphysical it is, that we're going to play cards under the name of karmic card playing poker. This is March. This is metaphysics. We have art and cosmology. What are the events you're doing this month, March? Mark.
Well, this March,
Mark.
on Saturday, March 21st, is an online light circle. And a light circle is limited to 6 people so that everybody receives a reading. And if you go to my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, go to the calendar of events. There's only a couple tickets left for the Saturday, March 21st light circle. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday, April 25th, I have another light circle, online light circle. You can find out about both of those by going to the calendar of events on my site, afterlifefrequency.com. In June, I believe it's around June 20th, I will be one of the keynote speakers for the Society for Scientific Exploration, and that's going to be in Denver, Colorado. There'll be more about that coming up. So I've got a lot of things going on. And then, of course, every week we got the psychic and the doc.
Yes.
So please visit my website, afterlifefrequency.com. Sign up for the newsletter, so that way it'll keep you up to date on everything I got going on. And Dr. Pat, I know that the Transformation Network, which you founded, is undergoing some pretty heavy-duty transformations of its own.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Can you tell our readers about
I will
some
do
of
that. I have to tell you, this Year of the One and the Year of the Fire Horse has really made me go back in time. And there are a number of things, of course, we're doing. I'm starting to write up specs for the next phase of technology updates. But what I found myself doing is, contrary to playing small, I started to look at what I really wanted to do with the network, how to incorporate AI in a positive way. But the most important thing that I looked at, Mark, I went back to the original vision of the network, and I pulled out a design of, I'll try to pull it up for the show, but I pulled out the original idea, which Mary Verplank worked with me on. And for years, Mary Verplank worked on initiating crust busting and then transformation talk radio, and then there's Oliver. So when I looked at that design and I looked at what I'm now doing, and I am responsible for design, so I have to take responsibility for what's not getting done, I realized that I needed to add more engagement opportunities for the audience. See, right now we show up like a lot of other podcasting networks. The shows show up. But this original design was not just meant for shows showing up, but interactiveness. This design was 2021 or 22. No, excuse me, 2001 and 2002. And that's before a lot of things. So, can you imagine a design that was so forward looking that I couldn't wait for the technology and I buried it and I stumbled upon it 2 days ago, right
Wow.
before Mercury went into retrograde? So, what's the meaning of that, Mark, from your where you sit?
Wow, there's a lot to that. Well, I think what it means is for the people that are affected by this, and that means you're being catapulted into a whole new phase of your life. And Transformation Network is sort of the physical manifestation, if you will, of the changes that are coming to you personally. I've known Dr. Pat for at least 10 years, I think longer than that. When I first went public as a medium, one of the first big shows that I was on was the Dr. Pat show,
Yeah,
which
that's
is still
right.
on, which is still
Yeah.
on. I mean, because Dr. Pat, and we had this chemistry right away. And then I remember at the end of the show, Dr. Pat said, "You have to come back." And then I started coming back, and then that led to us collaborating and co-creating this show, along with our producers Linda and Rocky, and now Jessica.
Jessica.
And that's all a chain of synchronistic events. I mean, if you would have told me 20 years ago, when I was mired in the practice of law with stacks of files and clients from every walk of life, that I would be a metaphysical celebrity doing talk shows and speaking around the world, I would have looked at you and said, okay, and thought about that would have been cool. But the thing is, some other force decided this for me. But the thing is, I'm not unique in that. Some other force decided this for Dr. Pat. For all of you, some other force decided the course of your life. I was on a show earlier today, and I was asked, what's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned in your life? And my answer is that every day that we're alive is a gift, although some days it may not seem that way. And, because you lose a loved one or you have health issues or terrible things happen to you, and it's hard to think that it's a gift. But the thing is, we only have so many days while we're living in the material world. And it's up to us to try to make each one count for something positive.
Yeah.
For the people with minds that hate and that are bent on destruction and inflicting harm on other people, you're completely missing the point of why you're here. We're here to make each day count in a positive, peaceful way for other people.
Yeah.
That is I think one of the most important lessons I've learned in this life, and I think that is a big part of what the psychic and the doc is all about.
Yeah, it is. And the metaphysical part of it, I consider it the fun part. So how does it happen? I do. I consider it because I am the least likely person to be doing this show, to be honest with you. And when I went back for my class reunion, they first of all, I keep saying this, they couldn't even believe I was still alive. They thought I died when I was 17. They thought they never got out of the homeless situation. But here's what we want to say. We do have fun. You may hear some things. We're going to go right to the phones. But for those of you out there, it is a live call-in show, 1-800-930-2819. And, I'm so struck by my own journey of metaphysics that I don't ever realize what my background is about half the time. But other people do. Somebody asked me why I have a cotton bush in the back of my head during the show. And I looked at it and I said, dang, I think it does look like a little cotton. Mama was from the South. Now I've come to learn that that is called a tree of life. albeit people say they've never seen a white tree of life. So here's the message for today. Just because people haven't seen it, just because you haven't heard it, just because maybe somebody told you you can't or you shouldn't. As Vicki Todd said today on the show we did, this is not the year to give up. 1-800-930-2819, and we're going to help you. We're going to help you not only not give up, but get that March metaphysical muscle and punch your way through the galaxies. Let's take a short break. We're getting right on the phones when we come back.
I'm Mark Anthony, author of The Afterlife Frequency. But don't expect a dry treatise. This book educates, entertains, and reads like a juicy novel.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's been on Coast to Coast, the radio show with me for years. He's a psychic lawyer, but he's the real deal.
This book also provides hope in coping with grief, crime, murder, PTSD, and survivor's guilt. The Afterlife Frequency teaches you my 4-step raft technique. Recognize spirit contact, accept it as real, feel it without fear, and trust the message.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Want a speaker who can inspire your audience and keep them laughing and learning all in the same moment? I'm Erica Gummany, and that's exactly what I hope to do when blending personal stories, deeper spiritual insights, and practical wisdom with a whole lot of humor that keeps everyone engaged. My intention is to create safe, transformative spaces where real growth and connection happen. Book me to speak or facilitate something amazing at yourpivotalpoint.com.
Have you ever faced a situation where you weren't quite sure how to handle it with poise, confidence, and grace? Of course you have. We all have. Well, tune in to the Change Mastery Show with me, John J. Murphy. Together, my co-host, Dr. Pat, and I will introduce you to a different way to think about change. Not as something to fear or resist, but as a gift. Join us the second Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Subscribe, share, and start your journey to mastery at johnjmurphy.org.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's so great to have you here on The Psychic in the Doc. I am Dr. Pat, host of the Dr. Pat Show, founder of the Transformation Network. So much more to come this year from us, especially given the download that I've gotten this week, which actually makes me tired all the time. And I am here by my esteemed colleague, Mark Anthony. Mark, again, if people want private readings from you or to participate, what is the best way for them to do that? What's your website?
Yes, please visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, just like my book, Afterlife Frequency. You can find out about scheduling an online reading or phone reading. You can find out about the online Zoom event on Saturday, March 21st. Sign up for my newsletter, keep you up to date on everything, and you can order my books as well, all by visiting afterlifefrequency.com. And we're going to be here every Thursday. Dr. Pat and I will, we're here. We're here to help. Here to help. All right.
And Jessica and Linda and Rocky. Jessica, who's first? Who's first up?
Yep. Let's go to Trish from New York. Trish, you are live on The Psychic in the Doc. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Trish. Welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I got dropped on the call, and somehow your team made it connect again. I was really appreciative for that because I'm legally blind, so it makes it a little challenging to try to call in. So I appreciate all the time.
Don't worry, we're on it. Now, we're going to help you today. I'm going to really hand you over to Mark here in a second. So, the way this works is that Mark is going to connect with a loved one and he'll ask you a number of questions. And all we do is ask for you kind of to wait and not interrupt him because the signal will get broken. But you will have an opportunity to ask questions. So, how about I introduce you to Mark Anthony and we let it go? What do you think?
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Mark,
Hi,
this is Trish.
Hey, Trish. Trish, I'm picking up on a female spirit connected to you, and she does feel like she is associated with your mother's side of the family. Now, this could be your mother, or it could be an aunt, or it could be a grandmother, but I'm getting a strong feminine parental type figure. Now, all grandparents are, all grandmothers are mothers, many mothers are grandmothers. But this woman, Trish, her passing took time. I see her, the way a spirit depicts themselves, the clothing that they project to me indicates a lot about them. And I see her wearing like a bathrobe, nightgown, which means to me that she was ill prior to passing, and it took some time for her to pass. I get a very unusual sensation in my chest, in her breasts and in her chest. It feels like ground glass. Now, I'm not saying that there was ground glass in her chest, but there was some type of disease, illness, problem with her lungs, and in her breasts. I'm also getting this painful sensation with her throat and esophagus. So she was having a real hard time eating. She was having a real hard time swallowing. And I get this intermittent mental clarity. She was coming in, she was coming out, she was coming in, she was coming out of mental clarity, which means that she knew what was happening prior to passing, but she was having a real hard time staying focused. Does any of this, do you recognize, or does any of this resonate with you in any way, Trish?
It could be both of my grandmothers went similar.
Okay. This spirit, and actually we may have both of your grandmothers here, because spirits with a commonality tend to come in together, and this one keeps saying August, August, August. Now let me explain. August can mean a significant birth, death, anniversary, or event, which could be connected to her or to you or someone close to either of you, either here on planet Earth or in spirit, within the month of August. So there's got to be something about, because I keep hearing August, August. Anything with August. And remember, it doesn't have to be about her. It could be about you or someone else close to you. August.
Yeah, I believe it's my father's grandmother, or my father's mother.
Okay, there you go. All right, and why? Why? What is it about August that resonates with your paternal grandmother?
Well, because when I lost her in the summertime, I was 7 years old, and they said that she was gone, and I went out in the garden where she taught me how to curl cucumbers in the grass and eat them right out of the garden. And I said, no, she's out there. I just talked to her, and they said, no, her body's in here in the house. And I said, no. And I was very adamant, so I went back out in the garden and kept talking to her.
Wonderful. That kind of makes sense that she would be the one to come through. Let's see what she has to say to you. Now, this is interesting. Very interesting. Okay, now this is going to sound really weird, so just bear with me. I'm hearing dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Oh my goodness. All right. This could mean something about Beethoven. This could mean something about the number 5. okay, which could be the fifth month, which is May. So there could be a birth, death, anniversary, or event connected to you or her or someone close to you within May. Could be some other significance with the number 5. Could be something about classical music. But Beethoven's Fifth is a really intense piece of music. I mean, dun, 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 dun. I know that sounds weird, but I've been doing this long enough, Trish, to know that no matter how weird it is, go ahead and say it. So anything with Beethoven, the number 5, the fifth of any month, or the fifth month, or this intensity. Now, the interesting thing with Beethoven is he was going deaf by the time he was writing his Fifth Symphony. He was completely deaf by the time he wrote his Ninth Symphony. And he was just one of those really amazing geniuses that despite a physical impairment, it didn't stop him. So, how does any of that resonate with you?
I think the word that you described is that the intensity of it, because knowing her and my father's recent passing, that it's going to be the information she's going to share at this point.
Okay, interesting. You indicated your father passed recently, and we have your father's mother communicating. Let's see if we can get dad in here. All right, mail coming through, and I'm going like, okay, that sound, I feel like I'm gasping for breath. I'm getting stomach issues, swallowing issues, but I'm getting sharp pains in the chest, in the area of the heart. So this could be a heart attack, some severe cardiopulmonary issue. I'm also feeling this pain all the way down into my groin area. Question, did your father ever have a history of heart catheterization or angioplasty? Because the sense I'm getting is this issue with the groin. I understand, like with I think it's either a heart catheterization or an angioplasty. I think it's a heart catheterization. The surgeons have to go into the veins through your groin area, but I'm getting this major pain there. Also, I'm getting with him, I'm seeing spots, which is indicating he may have been having blood pressure issues, and wow, he had a lot of health issues, but then when he did go, it came on really quickly. All right, anything there makes sense to you, Trish?
Well, the very first start, when you started at the beginning about what it sounded like, and then talked about the throat and stuff, is he had ALS, so his verbal communication was taken from him because of the ALS, and then he suffocated eventually from his lungs.
Okay, so that would account for that. Did he have a history of any heart issues or issues in his groin area? Because, I mean, I'm getting this like stabbing sensation there. Not like he was stabbed. Feels more like it could have been surgical.
If he had stuff in his groin, it was after, because his wife basically cut him out of my life.
Okay, hold on. And he gives me the month of January. The way I get January, Trish, is I smell pine trees and pine cones. I'm seeing all these pine cones. And unless pine cones mean something different to you, because your interpretation is more important than mine. So I'm getting this whole pine cone. And usually when I get pine cones and pine trees, it's not the Christmas tree scent. It's just regular pine. That is my association with the month of January.
the pine trees, the pine smell, he knows it's my favorite, and I had an oil that I took down to him with a diffuser that was called blue spruce from Young Living.
Oh, perfect. So you see, your dad's reaching out, and he said, nobody could cut you out of my life. He said, you've always been near and dear to my heart. I will always be with you. He said, you're my baby girl. And he said, and you always found a way to make me smile and to make me laugh. There's something, he keeps talking about your sense of humor. He said, you always found a way to make me laugh. And he said, when you feel blue, think of that.
Yeah, he always had a good way to make me laugh. When he was falling from ALS accidents, he always called it ground push-ups.
Ground push-ups. That's really cool. Let's see if he's got something else. Saltwater taffy. I feel like I'm trying to chew on saltwater taffy and it's pulling the teeth out of my head. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That means he knew I was just in Florida in January. I was just in, oh my God. This makes so much sense. Oh my, in January, I went to a seminar and I was, for the first time in Florida, I went to the beach for the first time in Daytona, and on the Daytona beach is a shop, and I bought 5 pounds of salt taffy to bring home for my grandkids, my family. And it
Oh
gets
my
better.
gosh.
On Lake Dora, listen to this, Mark. On Lake Dora, I stood inside, on Lake Dora in Florida, I stood inside a cypress tree that was burned and it was still alive. And I was so loving that this tree was still alive. I could put my hands up, I could put my hands to my side in this whole tree and it still was alive. It had such
Okay.
resilience.
Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, interesting. January. See, the previous message was one of my indicators for January. Then the saltwater taffy, and you said that you went to Daytona and you bought saltwater taffy. And then the reference, even though a cypress tree is not a pine tree, there's the reference to the tree. So what does this mean? This means your father is around you. He's aware of what's happening in your life, and he's sharing those happy experiences with you. That's why he said, no one can cut you out of my life.
Yeah.
Dr. Pat, what's your
Yeah.
take?
So here's the way I want to ask you to infuse this for the month of March. And Mark, wow, I could just sit here and listen. I kind of forgot I was on the show right there. I just forgot for a minute. Like, I was like, where am I? Because I was right there with you on the beach. I mean, I felt that energy. But there is a message in here. And I'm sorry if I have to say this punchline from a movie. But as Mark was talking, all I kept thinking about is nobody puts baby in the corner. Now, what's that from? That's from Dirty Dancing, right? Trish, you got
I
that? You
love
know
that
what I'm
song.
saying? Okay. But that line,
Oh yeah.
no one puts baby in the corner. And see, my sense is that your experience, very painful, by the way, nobody can put you in the corner. You are connected. Tonight, Mark just demonstrated it. You're deeply, deeply connected. So here's one of the things I want to ask you to think about getting for yourself. We're now moving into Pisces in March. This is March. This is a highly spiritual awakening Pisces. Now, many people are complaining about Mercury in retrograde in Pisces. No way, people. Do not worry. Why? Because the year of the fire horse is so activated that Mercury in retrograde may slow it down enough to feel like that Space Mountain ride at Disney. That's what this Mercury in retrograde. But here's the thing that I want to give you because it just kept coming up for me. There's a lucky energy, and there's a lucky energy of jade. Jade is a crystal. Are you familiar with it? Jade. It is the most
Yes, I am.
important
Yes, I am.
crystal to have around you. Whether it's a jade rock, it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? So if you can get your hand on some jade, it is about renewal.
Which
It's
is
a
which
lucky energy. Does that
I
make
just
sense to you, Trish?
it does make sense, and it's interesting that you bring it up because I just literally we did a group family chat that we're going to a GEMS event here in a couple months.
Okay. So jade is going to be especially important for you. It's a harmonic energy, and this is the year of the horse. So, the idea, I don't know why I have this image of a jade horse, but what I want to say to you about this is about a crystal that works its way into March, moves itself in to Aries. And for some reason, it's about manifestation of abundance. Now, I don't know that you need an abundance the way we talk about it, but I will tell you this, you need an abundance of self-love. And that's really what I want to leave you with. I would like you to focus on that for yourself because you deserve it.
And she does have an abundance of saltwater taffy as well.
5 pounds.
5 pounds.
That's
I had to jump in, but
that's a dentist appointment.
And yeah, remember I get the teeth getting pulled out, and also that's kind of a joke from her father coming through you. And you're talking about an abundance, I heard, and she's got an abundance of saltwater taffy.
So Trish, I hope this was helpful for you.
Go ahead,
It
Trish.
was very much. But I also want to say to people about Mark's book, for anybody who hasn't read that or listened to it on Audible like I did, he really brings together and explains the science of metaphysical. And I think that's huge. So it's a great gift to give to someone who doesn't know how to incorporate metaphysical and science. That book will give it everything it needs.
Yeah. What do you think, Trish? You actually can't see my background, but if you ever get a chance to see it, I'm going to send it to the guy that thought that was a cotton tree bush behind me. So,
I love the tree of life.
You're listening to the show, buddy. It's you. Thank you, Trish. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back. You bet.
Rethinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
Want a speaker who can inspire your audience and keep them laughing and learning all in the same moment? I'm Erica Gummany, and that's exactly what I hope to do when blending personal stories, deeper spiritual insights, and practical wisdom with a whole lot of humor that keeps everyone engaged. My intention is to create safe, transformative spaces where real growth and connection happen. Book me to speak or facilitate something amazing at yourpivotalpoint.com.
Have you ever faced a situation where you weren't quite sure how to handle it with poise, confidence, and grace? Of course you have. We all have. Well, tune in to the Change Mastery Show with me, John J. Murphy. Together, my co-host, Dr. Pat, and I will introduce you to a different way to think about change. Not as something to fear or resist, but as a gift. Join us the second Wednesday of every month at 11 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Subscribe, share, and start your journey to mastery at johnjmurphy.org.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Psychic in the Doc. I am the doc part of that. Mark Anthony, JD. Okay, so everybody, you have to know that he's the psychic lawyer, but the psychic explorer, the lawyer, the JD. JD is because he's a lawyer, just like I'm a PD, well, PhD. So when you combine, that's an interesting life combination, to be honest with you there, Mark.
Yeah, yeah, it has certainly made for an interesting life. And yeah, because people are like psychic lawyer, they think I go around using my psychic powers on their cases, and then people start contacting me. I want you because you're a psychic lawyer, and everybody. I am not practicing law anymore.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm focusing strictly on my mediumship, so please don't ask me to file a lawsuit against the person who's beaming psychic waves into your brain. I mean, I get all these type of things, and and I'm not discounting that what's happening to you isn't real, but that's not what I do.
Yeah.
But I do appear on a number of shows when the legal system and the paranormal collide.
Yes.
And it does happen more than people tend to think. And one of the areas where it happens quite a bit is people will rent or they will buy a house that they then believe is haunted, and then they want to get out of the contract. And that really is a collision because it puts the judicial system, the judge, in the awkward position of overturning a contract on the basis of something spiritual, and that on its face is a violation of the First Amendment, separation of church and state. And it's really fascinating, the issues that come up. And that's just one of them, And then there's more practical ones like insurance liability for people doing paranormal investigations. If you're running around a giant, supposedly haunted building at midnight with no lights and you fall down the stairs and break your leg, somebody's getting sued. And there are actually insurance companies who sell policies to paranormal investigators. Now, isn't that cool? So when issues like this come up, the media, I'm the go-to guy, if you will, for those type of issues. So that's one of the things that I do.
I love it. I think about the pathway, and this has been so far this year has really been a shakeup year for me. Last year was a shakeout year. And I didn't pay attention to the year of the wood snake. I'm kind of didn't, but I didn't have to because the year of the wood snake last year did everything it was called to do for me, my life, my business. It had everything from an upside down turn to that really bad thing that happened turned us into a new company, the Transformation Network, and 82 counts of trademark on the Transformation Network and Dr. Pat. And so when people say to me, why do you always say it's not a setback, Pat? It's a setup. Well, I'm not the only one that says it. Just listen to some preacher people. But I believe that in my life, that has been it. My illness in 2004, 6 months after doing this, put me in a position where I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain. Nobody knew it. But the only thing I could do is keep buying that airtime. And that's what I did. I keep buying airtime. Bought it, bought it, bought it. By the second year of me doing the show, I was doing 14 hours a week. That's how you and I met.
That's it. Oh, and speaking of airtime,
yeah,
we have Joanne from South Carolina sent a message, and I believe Jessica and Linda have her on the phone. Do you want to go back to the phones, Dr. Pat?
Do it, Jessica. Okay, but we have some information. Should we look at that information, Jess? Let's acknowledge her message. Okay. Mark, let's take a look at her message because I do want to acknowledge this. And again, I apologize if you were not able to get in, but let's take a look at the message that you sent. First of all, our hearts go out to you. I have to say it because this has been this show for me is not something that, unlike Mark, is not an area that I had been exposed to in my life. And I have to tell you all that how this show has affected me personally, I don't even have words for. but it's because of the message we got from someone who wrote in on our website, Mark, correct? And I think
Yes.
you have the message in front of you too.
I
Right.
do. This Joanne from South Carolina message. I lost my beautiful 46-year-old son suddenly in January. He had so much energy and passion and a big heart. He will always be the light of my life. I felt his presence before learning that he passed away, and I feel that he was at peace. I struggle every day, and I'm going for grief counseling. First off, you're doing the absolute healthful thing to do by going to grief counseling, because no one should go through the loss of a loved one alone. Secondly, no mom should ever have to lose a child. It doesn't matter if your child is 4 or 46 or hasn't come to term yet or is a senior citizen. There is no bond like that between a parent and a child. So please accept our deepest condolences and sympathy. You said something very remarkable, how you felt his presence before learning that he'd passed away. So you're already spiritually open and receiving the message. He's letting you know he's around and at peace. Knowing that is so important, and it's a very healing first step in your journey through grief. Dr. Pat, what's your perspective on this?
I want to just everything you said is right on, and I want to thank you for writing in. This has been an extraordinarily difficult time for people, especially January. I've heard more occurrences, more people lost, but losing a son, daughter, there are no words. And I'll tell you what I'm so thrilled about. I am so thrilled you're getting grief help and grief support. This is one of the most important services, Mark, and you belong to, I mean, we should talk about this.
Yes.
Once upon a time, you couldn't get help with grief because it was an embarrassment. And
Right.
today, even for men, I worked with Congressman Jim McDermott on the vets in Washington State to try to get them help. But there's so much stigma around it, and the world has changed. Can you tell a little bit about the work you do with the organization you do it with?
Absolutely. Helping parents heal. And Joanne, if you're still tuned in and listening, please go to the website helpingparentsheal.org. Helping Parents Heal is a nonprofit organization which is founded by parents who lost children, and they take a very uplifting, a very positive approach that you can recover, you can heal. They incorporate mediumship as part of their approach, but it's cross-disciplinary. They also utilize grief counselors. There's online events. There's local chapters, and then of course there's the every 2 years, and they're having a national convention conference in Phoenix, Arizona, at Wild Horse Pass in August. And so I recommend to everyone who's lost a child, please visit helpingparentsheal.org. We're here to help you.
Yeah. You know, what a great show tonight. I mean, I love the whole March metaphysical thing. I'm telling you, I have to look up more places in Jersey that they've got metaphysical things going on. I had no idea, right? But I was drawn to move back here, Mark, and I was drawn for a reason. And I don't know if this is true. And so I'm not asking you to see who calls in for me because they're already talking to me. My stepmom and my mom have been relentless to the point where I just today recognized it was them. Everything from telling me how to change the website back, the interface back to what I originally designed with Mary Verplank. And I thought, I'm losing it, man. Maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's trying to get back here, but it's not, is it? Don't
No.
we always get messages, Mark, So
We do.
Would you leave people with your personal message on how they can connect?
Certainly. Be open. This is my raft technique that I teach in my book, The Afterlife Frequency. I teach people recognize signs from spirits, accept the contact is real, feel it without overthinking, and trust the message. That's recognize, accept, feel, trust, raft. And the thing is, you don't have to be a psychic or a medium to have a psychic or mediumistic experience. Our loved ones in spirit are around us. They send us messages. They will direct our attention to particular things, maybe a cardinal, a dragonfly, a coin. You may hear their voice for a second. There are many, many ways that spirit communication manifests itself. The presentation I'm giving at Helping Parents Heal is entitled, We're Wired for Spirit Communication. And I'll be telling everyone how spirits communicate with us. So the Psychic in the Doc, we will be back next week, and God willing, every week, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, all times in between on either side of that. And so thank you, everyone, and enjoy March Metaphysical.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Psychic in the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Basili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on the Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.